Thank you to each and every one of you guys. My name is Chief Apostle Samuel Jr. I am the apostle and pastor of Apostolic Faith of Jesus Christ Incorporated, and my beliefs are deeply rooted in the ATRs. To each and every one of you guys that have been following me, this is actually Sunday. Normally I come on a lot earlier, and I'm going to discuss why I'm coming on so much later. I want to first of all thank my madrina, to my padrino, to my oba, and to all of my brothers and sisters in Ifa, Voodoo, Santeria, Lukumi, Congo, Palo, Mystic, and Adjays. To each and every one of you guys on this platform, and even on Sundays, I do not teach my personal beliefs. What I do is teach universal laws because, sir and ma'am, they are applicable to each and every one of you guys. In honor of As Above, So Below, we're talking about sun energy, and we're talking about that energy of Leo, and which rules the heart. And to each and every one, what's up, my storm, and thank you so much for being with us. I want to say to each and every one of you guys that have been following me, I like to be very honest and transparent with people as I go through my process and go through my journeys. And to each and every one of you guys that have been supporting Apostle Ely all throughout this process, going through Ocha, the conjure, the graveyard ceremonies, to each and every one of you guys. In honor of my head Arisha, my Fedi Fum, Yanza, and my Fedi Fum, Babluaye. Also, I'm rocking my Fedi Fum Obatala on today, actually the path that I am in Obatala. But I came on here also today because I have been going, what's up my Natasha Foster, what's up my baby Scorpio? I have been up since 6 o'clock this morning. I did a live on TikTok. I still was in Lauderdale this morning, driving all the way back, coming home. I just was doing a lot today, and my energy was just like, I was tired. I've been on medication, and I wanted to share that with you guys. I'm still at the church. Mother Susan just left, Sister Monique just left, because they had to get me something to eat. And I hadn't eaten since 6 a.m. this morning, and so I had her to go get me something, some soup in order to put on my stomach. First of all, I shouldn't be taking medicine on an empty stomach anyway, but you know, no here, no there. And so even though I feel the effects of the medicine, I had an abscess right here on my back too, and but they gave me really strong antibiotics in order to get rid of the infection. And so what has happened is, now that the infection is gone, the actual medicine itself is like taking me through a lot of changes, and I wasn't I'm not in pain or any of that, but I just was not 100. And so I didn't want to come on not until I was in a better state. And so I got some rest, I got some food. So I'm still at the church. I'm actually at my desk right now. Monique and her mom are headed back to Titusville. They were here since 11 o'clock. And so I wanted to come on here because I feel a sense of commitment, a sense of responsibility as a spiritual. What's up, Alicia? What's up, L Bay Sagittarius in house? No matter what I'm going through, I feel that if you're gonna lead people, you're gonna guide people, you don't have to tell people all your business, but you have to be as transparent as possible. First of all, I've never been a person of medicine. I've always been holistic and herbs and what have you. So I'm the type of person that has, even when I was, I've gotten high off of breath freshener. Like, I have very low tolerance for alcohol and medicines. And so even when I have to go, something as simple as, some people say simple as going and getting antibiotics from a dentist, it affects my body very differently because I'm not accustomed to medicines. My body isn't. So it takes me on an unnatural high. I'm used to natural highs, but not on. What's up there, Demetrius is in the house. Gemini. So I want to share this information from a perspective of honesty. I was going to have Mother Susan share some things with me today, because I don't want anybody to think that I don't want people concerned about me, because that's not true. As a male leader, as a male practitioner, I'm always thinking about how to protect people from being, because like I've been going through scrutiny all of my life, so I'm accustomed to it. And some things that I have tried to protect Minister Mario from, and anybody that follows me, I don't, people do stuff to me, but I don't want people doing stuff to people that follow me. And a lot of things that I have, I do on my own, and many of you guys do not know this, but a lot of the stuff that I do, like the traveling and all that, Minister Mario used to take care of, and I would rest while I would go to Miami and get various stuff. I have an Ocha birthday coming up on the 10th. I have to be down there on the 8th. And so I was just basically trying to take all of my medicine at night so it can get out the infection out of my system through the night. But it's the infection is gone, because as you see, like, I don't even have it's like a little bump that's right here. Everything else is like, it's all basically gone. So the medicine is still in my system, and so it was affecting me. I'm not in any pain, I'll say that again, but I want you guys to understand, I believe that my journey to get through my Ocha birthday and to receive Insasi is very pivotal, not only for my personal transformation, but the transformation of other people. And when I say, Robert, even though I'm in church, I'll still cuss you out. Find you somebody to play with, okay? I'm a black melanated man. I am not in the mood. So go find you another live to play. Thank you for coming in and helping out Algorithm. And all of you that are watching, please hit that like button. If you want to super chat, please do that as well. I have taken out a lot of time to sacrifice in order to help people. And let me explain where I'm coming from there. A lot of the things that you would have to go through if you're doing this, I take that upon myself. This is when the scripture said, let the strong and bear the infirmities of the weak. A lot of your healings, a lot of your breakthroughs, you don't feel the majority of the effect of those workings. I do. And I do that in order for you not, because everybody's not going to endure these elevations. Right now, I'm in the same thing is happening to me that happened when I was going to get crowned Mafedi Fum Oya. I had already started going through the transformation. Even though I have not received Insasi, even though I have not gotten to August the 10th, my body and my energy is already going through the transformation. And so I'm already feeling the effects of that. And so I drove from Lauderdale this morning, got home, walked my dog, and then got dressed, and then came to the church. I told you guys I was setting up for Olokun. So I brought my Olokun to church, and I got to put up stuff, and I still have to go to the cemetery, and I got to go back to work on Monday. So Monique was concerned about that, like, okay, Apostle, you need to rest. I was like, don't overdo it. But when you don't have people that actually going to get up and do certain things, you know, I'm old school. You got to do what you got to do. A lot of people say they want to get into Ocha, they want to get into Santeria, they want to get into Haitian Voodoo, they say they want to be a good root worker. The time will come as some of you elevate, you will see a lot of pressure that I took off of you. A lot of the information that I share keeps you from going to be deceived by other people. A lot of the things that I would like for some of you to have a better understanding, you're not going to have that understanding until you have to go through it for yourself. A part of me being a parent, same thing I did with my kids, I've always tried to safeguard them. And I took more the hit or the responsibility than they did. And so allowing them to get a taste, not necessarily the impact. And as a shepherd, I do the same thing. As a spiritual man, when I do work for you, I normally take the full, most of the impact of whatever working, whatever cleansing you're going through, and I deal with it myself, because what I want you to do is to experience your healing, your breakthrough, and your deliverance. That is my objective, for you to have as quick turnaround and manifestation as possible. And I was thinking about this when I was asking the Lord about what message to give, and I have some ice water down here. I have some cheddar soup, because I don't do breakfast. I was told in my ATR that I need to start taking breakfast, and so I have to find other ways to get something in my system. I didn't start really eating today until after 2 o'clock, which is not good. It's not morning and it's not breakfast. So that's a struggle for me. But the amount of money, the amount of service that I have had to do in the last 7 days because I knew I had to go back to work, and that, to be very honest with you, I knew I couldn't count on certain people to get stuff done. I knew they weren't going to do it. People tell me, especially in my church, you know, I feel very bad that the men in my church do not step up a lot of the time. And I was sitting there thinking about the situation with Kamala Harris. And I heard this young man saying that in a time of war, why would you put a woman up there? And majority, this is what, I'm going to show you this. This is St. Michael. This is what most people believe, but St. Michael is not a man. Michael is a female. The planets are not masculine in the sense of the energy. Those are female. Those are the seven sisters. They only change those into masculine images is when patriarchs start taking over. So a lot of things that you think you calling on, even people that practice Luciferian, that is not a masculine entity. That is a feminine energy. Those that in the church world that call upon the Holy Ghost, that's a feminine energy. Those that believe in the Shekinah glory, that is feminine energy. So when you go to war, when Yahshua did all those great signs and wonders, that was done through feminine energy. So a man that does not have no respect or feels like a woman cannot protect, he must be never had a female pit bull. He must be never had a female pit Rottweiler or Doberman. He must be never had seen a mother hen go bananas and put her life on the line against a snake, against any intruder when it comes to her chick. And so I know I'm not going to change all minds. I know that ain't even my objective. But I'm here to challenge some of these beliefs that are out there when history shows those were female warriors that taught us how to war. Full cognizance that I understand my role as a man with feminine energy. I understand that if we are going to elevate, we have to have a clear understanding. And the last thing I feel for them, this imagery of Kamala Harris, the reason why I'm excited about it and the thing about it, because feminine energy shall sit, just like we were proud to have President Barack Obama sit behind that Oval Office. Why do you have a problem with Kamala Harris sitting behind that Oval Office? It's still a representation. Actually, like I told you my personal testimony with my uncle, but it's just the mere fact of imagery. The same thing why we have certain things here. Symbology. And my leg just get initiated. You just can't get scratched. You can't just be in the church. You just cannot make it about you. You have to understand your role that you play with the collective. This is why I'm able to say that no matter how I feel, I get up and do what I'm supposed to do. I get up and do what I believe is in my heart to do. I feel that melanated females need to see men, regardless of what they're going through, standing on post. I'll never forget, and this is my personal inspiration. My mom only had 2 kids, but my grandmother had 9 head of kids. She ended up having 10 in her lifetime. And to raise 9 kids, boys and girls, stair-steppers, and making sacrifices, the stories that I used to hear about how sometimes she went to bed, sometimes she would just suck the juice, not eat at all. Sometimes she would eat what they call mayonnaise sandwiches and ketchup sandwiches. And before I even got to this particular bloodline through this family, like, those sacrifices still impacted my life. When you see how society has set up for melanated people to have such a harder time, and then you tell you don't have those oppositions, they do. You don't have those things to contend with, they do. And that's even the melanated women that got education, that's the melanated people that making some money, they still have to deal with the same opposition. I was listening, I heard it from a white guy, and I heard it from a black guy. And they said Kamala Harris slept her way to the top. Her education, If you see a black woman in a position, she earned that. Ain't nobody gave her that. Just because she dated people in her professional arena does not make her a whore. Women have to go by and deal with different standards. It doesn't matter. She ended up winning becoming the vice president of the United States, and yet you're going to minimize all of her accomplishments. All of her accomplishments. Some of these men that are talking about Kamala Harris could never be in the arena or a dating pool with Kamala Harris because you would be too intimidated. Some of these men are intimidated by women that are bus drivers. Some of these men are the same type of men are intimidated by women that are cafeteria people. Some of these men are intimidated by people that work at laundromat. The average woman, just if she has any confidence in herself, is intimidating to the average man. Because some way, somehow, you feel like this woman has to not be herself in order for you to be a man. And that is not real spirituality. I don't teach it. I don't instruct it. I don't know who I am, and I know how to stand my ground. But at no time, I'm not saying that I don't want to be concerned. I feel like I have to be an example. Because so many men fall short in these ATRs. I'm not a medicine person. I'm just trying to balance this medicine in my system and my stomach. Elevating through the ATRs, there's no easy way. There's no cheap way. There's no way that you're going to get with other people. Everybody got to go through their process. As much as I try to make it easier for people to function through the ATRs, it still work. It's still accountability. They literally have put, that's why I haven't went and bought a car, because it's cheaper for me on a rental car and put the miles on a rental car than a car that I purchased. So business wise, it seems like it's economically more savvy for me to do it that way, and then to put a bunch of miles on a car that I have to pay for and then make it hard to trade or get rid of. So I want to share this with you. I need you to know what you're supporting. I am a man that have set up under strong women, violent women, mothers, grandmothers. I watch my uncles, them, beat women. Great uncles beat women, but they didn't want nobody touching their sisters, nieces. And when I listen to black men, at first I started commenting and I said, no, you need to take your own medicine. You don't agree with what he's saying, that's his channel, he has the right there. Black women are not perfect. They don't have to be. They don't have to be the smartest, but everybody copying their intellect. There are people out here making money off of the most ghetto versions of black women. That's what Hidden Figures was all about. Revealing the history of black women, their level of intelligence. But they weren't smart enough to land that capsule on the moon, and they were also not smart enough to bring that capsule down from the moon. That black woman and those black in that office was smart enough. History always proves it. I have a great deal of honor and gratitude for being chosen as a male matriarch. I notice that my video, when I'm going off or cussing people out, I always get a lot of views. And it shows what we really into. You're not concerned about really learning all of this. All you concerned about is how somebody says something or how I address people that come in to interfere in my lives. But at the end of the day, the real work, the real sacrifices that I do for melanated men and women, the real physical sacrifices of me putting myself on the line and traveling up and down this highway so I can represent as best as I can. Ultra. That I can Is it freezing for anybody? Yes, it's freezing because of I'm going to read this because I think it's important. 2 Corinthians 3 and 18. You can't just say, I want to work with Oya. You can't just say, I want to work with Mama Chola. You just find space. Whether you in the United States or whether you are traveling worldwide, it is so very important to understand that we go different than a non-melanated person because I evolve. Like a plant, when it starts out, as it grows, it evolves. As a tree, as it starts out, then it evolves. The creation of mountains, it evolves. All of this stuff is synonymous. All of it is transformation. What you think is natural to you, once you mix mother to protector, that's another phase that's going to change who you are. You're still your person, but how you see the world, how you maneuver your finances, how you interact with people. When you go through situations and circumstances, it changes you. Minister Mario Dev changed me because I saw that I had before because I couldn't wait till the last minute and expect certain people to jump up and say, oh, okay, Apostle need this help, Apostle need that. They're not going to do that. All resonating, people are not going to support. If people don't see clarity and transparency, then how are they going to understand who you are and what you stand for? Why does Kamala Harris or any other person of melanated state have to do so much explaining for you to support when you out here supporting people that don't even like you? You don't know what they spending their money on, but you are supporting them. I'm starting to overheat. Then I got 2 Timothy. You don't understand a sacrifice of a man that is about his people. Because many of you are accustomed to women making those sacrifices. I love the Lord. I love God. I love what I do in the ATRs. But I know that our people are messed up. And the fact that I am predominantly supported by black women. But I'm here for all people. I'm here for black melanated men. And what black women have seen, if they had to go to court, they would have mountains of evidence, is that if they help melanated black men, they're going to be betrayed. They're going to be let down. She didn't have to be perfect to help you. She didn't. But all of a sudden, when you get to a place of what we call good, all of a sudden she got to be all these other things that everybody else is. But everybody else that is didn't think enough of you. It was those women. This is why I tell people, don't ever think I'm going to forget you. I don't forget bridges that I've crossed. And in my transformation, it is with the intention of helping as I can. But I can't do it by myself. And I don't have enough men with balls that I'm talking about. No, I don't have hot flashes, but I'm having hot flashes. Because I have feminine energy. I'm a very masculine, dominant man. Situations that a physical woman would go through, I go through a lot of those situations. I have to develop. When I tell you guys that I was born on Venus and I understand those birthing processes for women that actually birth children. Because if you ever birthed a child, you know what it feel like to birth an Nganga. You would know what it like to birth the spirit. Somebody told me they got baptized. If you have never, the breaking of water. What's up, Ryan? 2 Timothy, the 2nd chapter. And the things that thou have heard of me among many witnesses, the same commit thou to faithful men, who shall be able to teach others also. Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier in Christ Jesus. Listen to verse 4. No man, I want all melanated men to understand this. I want y'all to get this. Father of the church, whatever. Listen to this. No man that wars, we're in a fight, entangled himself. You got to keep your focus about what is really going on. We need to come together, and I'm not talking about the come together and marching, as a collective consciousness. It says, no man that wars entangle himself with the affairs of the life, that he may get out here to fight. They feel like you putting their life on the line. And when some of you guys actually see a man that's willing to put his life on the line, you can't even value it. Because you didn't see it. You don't know what it looked like. You don't know what it smelled like. A part of my transformation and me being transparent on social media is for some of these women to see a man going through some of the same things you see and showing some respect for these transformations. Because they're not easy. And they come unexpected. They come, it is to be a fighter. All of my paths in Ocha are warriors. But I can't say because I don't feel good that I'm not a soldier. Because I got to still get up. I can't say because I can't tell my children. Just like a woman can't tell her children, I can't feed you. I'm going to be very honest with you. I came up seeing women play that, and I'm going to tell you why. Because you got women out here selling their bodies to take care of a nigga, a grown man. But back in the day, women did what they had to make sure their kids. And the same thing when you're talking about an infumbe, or you're talking about a cauldron, or you're talking about any of these African fetishes. This is why they were all styled by the womb of a woman. And what she went through to birth something. How you going to respect the power of any entity when you don't understand the process of that elevation, the process of that transformation, the process of what has to go through? This is why her eating habits change. Because she has to get in alignment with the entity that's living on the inside of her. This is why she craves stuff that she don't normally crave, because she's being in an alignment. This is why we get a power for Leo energy is to restore feminine energy in the mind. Restore feminine energy. But they have taught you to perceive feminine energy in a certain way that you're no longer conscious of feminine energy and what it really is. And you could be the straightest man in the universe. You cannot be a real man without respecting divine feminine. There is no you without her. There is no Ache without her. There is no Chi without her. There's no power of life or power of death without her. I know many, I've been saying this for years. I ain't just saying it because I'm a social media, because we are struggling as a people to honor divine feminine. And I'm talking about even black women. Even black women are struggling to show homage to other melanated women. We are chaos beings. We have to transform. But we cannot do that. We have to use our own resources. Why should somebody else find what we got going on more important than the people that actually going to benefit? If it is now. How you don't understand that? Because you talking trash on the street corner, your voice is not heard in those spaces. I do not have the ability to help everybody. You can't keep coming on my live and say, oh my God, he's telling the truth. Oh my God, he's honest. Oh my God, he's transparent. And not realize I'm sounding the alarm. These people not playing with us. They're not interested in our survival. Recognize divine energy, feminine energy. In order for us to develop, all this time about respect, you got to respect the ATR in your own self before you. But when you're not here, I have to keep on carrying that torch. But he ain't at none of the PTA meetings. He's never there when a child is sick. He ain't got to take off work. He ain't got to do none of that. But when in order to raise a child or elevate a child, it takes more than money. Who better understands that than a female? Are you putting her in a position that she don't have to have different baby daddies in your child's life? No. Because we have sex irresponsibly. And we do things that we cannot afford. We're laying down with people, having babies with people that we already know that their finances are limited. So how can you want so much? Divine feminine is trying to restructure us, recalibrate us. So the next time we pray a prayer, it's gonna make sense. The next time we do an elbow, it's gonna make sense. The next time we join something, it's gonna. Peace and green. Thank you so much. We need soldiers. Not Christian soldiers, not Epha soldiers, not Kabbalah soldiers, not Ocha soldiers. We need melanated people to understand the urgency of this era and this time. And I'm willing to get on the altar. I'm already on the altar. And do I like what I'm going through? I'm not going to front nobody. These transformations that I've been going through have not been good for me, physically. I don't, but when a woman's going through her transformation, she don't like it either. But she got to deal with it. So, I shut up and I bite it. You know what I'm saying? I hope that if you decide to get in Ocha, if you decide to get in Palo, come them lay, if you can bond, that you understand where these energies are coming from. And it's to be respected. And as great as I have become, I don't try to make it patriarchal. Argue with Cubans. You took that science that you got from Africa and you made it African Cuban, and all of a sudden tell you now you saying you're the genesis of that magic, and you're not. Now you're trying to gatekeep with melanated people where you get your actual Ache from. I'm gonna tell you something. If you can watch this in Haitian Voodoo, you can watch people, non-melanated people or people that have a problem with melanated people have absolutely no problem bowing down to our deities. They have no problem bowing down to a picture, a wooden statue that represents Yemiya, but a daughter that is actually Yemiya, she won't bow down to her. Through this transformation, if you're going to rock with me, through this manifestation, if you're going to rock with me, you're going to have to be ready to be a soldier. You're going to have to be ready to be able to endure hardness as a good soldier. And you're going to have to understand that there's different phases to these levels. And somebody has to make these sacrifices. Because just talking about it ain't going to bring no change. Talking about who wrong and who right, that ain't going to bring about a change. It's going to take action. I don't want to be on here long because I still got to go to the cemetery. I'm going to try to, if I feel better, I'm going to try to do a consultation tonight. But I am very concerned about the well-being of melanated people. Not taking their elevation seriously in these ATR, whatever that practice is. And just saying you're a woman ain't good enough. If you don't even, if you don't understand, if you a woman, you should understood why I put on my website the thing that we want elevation, we want strength, we want knowledge with understanding. Well, you're getting knowledge with understanding. Why are you making the same moves? Mother Susan and all them got because I had fell asleep after taking the medicine, because that's one of the side effects of that medicine. And even a man of my status, as a woman, if you're birthing a child and a man is standing in the room holding your hand, does that really help you birth that child? There are certain things I'm going through. You can't help me. I got to go through it. There's nothing you can do. There's go through what I got to go through to get to where everybody needs me to be by August the 10th. So I can help other people, but I got to go through the birthing process. I got to go through the transformation. And I speak to every woman that understands that. I speak to every man that comprehends that. You're not just going to get something, it has to be birthed. And somebody got to go through them pains. Somebody got to go through the birthing pain. Somebody's diet has to change. It's not going to happen because you want it to happen. You have to go through the metamorphic process, through your elevation. Whether it's through hoodoo, voodoo, Santeria, Kumi, Congo, Apollo, it don't matter. Whether you take Lamar's classes or not. Ain't nothing for to change that process. And whether that dream comes to fruition or not, you still got to go through the birthing process. Whether you get the full impact of your healing or not, if you die in the process. Because you can die in childbirth, just like your dream can die in childbirth. You need to understand that. Just because I'm doing the ceremony correctly does not mean that that baby or that dream or that manifestation is going to manifest fully. That's why it's important to feed yourself prenatal vitamins and herbs and stuff. The same thing I'm doing to myself. I'm trying to feed my body. So as I go through these transformations, it'll make it easier. This is why I have to drink more water now, because I'm going through a transformation. And it's very hard on my body, and I'm a healthy man. I hope that this makes sense. I hope that you see the clarity in it. I don't want to paint a picture to nobody that these elevations are a piece of cake, because it's not. I want you to understand, when we talk about our forefathers and our foremothers, what they really had to go through to give you those opportunities. And that's why we respect it. They could be dead 200 years. They could be dead 1,000,000 years. You still going to respect that because you understand that birthing process. You understand that level of sacrifice. Before I got the power, I got somebody in my bloodline had to sit on that altar. Somebody had to sit on that part of it. I am a crown twice. Somebody made a hell of a sight. Somebody gave up something. A mother. In order for me to be in a position that I'm in, I got to give up something. To bring more sons and daughters to glory, you do. I want to get off the potter's wheel just like you do. But who else gonna do it? That's the whole concept of Christ. He had to fulfill that destiny. Everything about destiny is not walking through the tulips, y'all. But to all of you that helped me through this process, I say thank you. I got to go through it. The vision is great. Everything inside. I got my Olokun over there. Got to put everything together. I'm doing this all for Melanie, but I got to go through the birthing process. For you to present it to a people that may accept it or may reject it. That's like a woman going through all of that process to birth that child into the world, and that man still may reject that baby. That baby not going nowhere. You can go through all of these processes, all these initiations, and still be rejected by the very people that you're trying to help. But the baby here now, what do you do? The vision here now, what do you do? The manifestation here now, what do you do? I want you to convince me you don't understand where I'm coming from. Whether you have a cesarean or whether you have natural childbirth, neither process is easy. to create, even my old body, creating my in sausage. I don't think that's simple. That's why I don't have a problem paying him. He could call it the offering, he could call it the retro, he can call it what he wants. Because I done went through my own stuff, that's why I don't have a problem paying people. You don't have a problem being a blessing. When somebody else willing to go through that process for you, sit on that altar for you, sit on that potter's wheel for you, everybody ain't doing that, baby. Everybody ain't gonna do it. For the very reason what I'm going through right now. The very reason why the fear sets in a woman is this man gonna walk off of me when I have this baby. Baby is another thing to bring it to the past. It's another thing having the idea of getting a home. It's another thing actually bringing that thing to pass. This real talk. This grown people stuff. These transformation, these real solar transformation, are fear. Like we see cartoons of the X-Men, the Dark Phoenix, incarnating fire, the primordial energy, whether primordial air, or whether primordial fire, or primordial water, or primordial oil. To inhabit that entity is a tremendous amount of transformation. I am going through a transformation because I am going to be possessed by Insasi. Why I'm already possessed by Zendaya. Why I'm already possessed by Zarabanda. And then my voodoo spirits. That's a lot on the body. People that have gone through those processes understand exactly what I'm saying. Any woman that have birth twins and triplets, they understand what I'm talking about. I want you to understand, never take things for granted. This is why a woman goes to heaven if she dies in childbirth. This is why Santero, a Tata Mambo, if they die in the process of they get elevated totally different. If you are doing ceremony and you pass away during those ceremonies, you're going to a different space. You're already doing the ultimate sacrifice. You're putting fences when people do the things that they do. Because you can't pay me for my life. If you right now send me a cash out for $1.5 million, you can't pay for my life. So anything even less than that, you already know how I feel about it. I appreciate it. But you cannot pay me for my life. You can't pay me for my existence. You can't pay me for my arche. That's like a child walking up to his mother and saying, I'm going to pay you for birthing me in the world. She going to look at him crazy. If you was the richest man in the universe, you couldn't pay me for that. You can't pay me for what I've been through. You don't have it. That's how asinine it is. How you going to pay a man or woman that makes those type of sacrifices for you? They put their life on the line. They didn't have to make it to get you here. Even my mom, me and her don't see eye to eye. I'm going to always give her that respect because she did something that I'm experiencing now as a man. You can't pay somebody for these type of things. You can't pay your tata for it, your mambo, your hookah. Once they get on that altar for you and give up their life arche for you, you can't pay them for that. You can show them love. You can help them through the process. But that's a real sacrifice. I'm going through something. And I know at the end of this will be worth it. But I'm going through stuff I've never had to go through in my whole entire life. I'm 51 years old. I'm dealing with stuff I won't front to nobody. I have never had to deal with some of the stuff that I'm dealing with now in my whole entire life. But because of where they're taking me and these elevations, I have to have these experiences. And I want to be real about it. I want to be a real soldier about it. Yes, if you're a soldier in pain. And it's very hard to watch people watch you go through your transformation and just walk off from you. It's very hard to have people to watch you go through your transformation. I was thinking about some of the things I did in my life and saying, When you are in the hospital, you're birthing that child, and that man is not present. It changes you. If he show up later, if he show up an hour later, it changes you. Because you still had to go through that process or that part of your treatment by yourself. And you didn't make that baby by yourself. The things that I understand now, I didn't understand when I was a younger man. The more deep I get in magic and spirituality, the mere fact that why she, don't come on here about Trump 2024, when Trump out here bleaching his anus. We're not interested. We talking about real birth. There's no comparison between Trump and Kamala Harris. There's absolutely no comparison. I want you to think about when you're going through your transformation and when you have to go through some of those transformations alone. You, sir and ma'am, no matter what your belief system is, you cannot lie and say that it does not change you. Because it does. It makes you see people different. It makes you handle people different. And it's really a part of life. So I say, you have to go by yourself, you're going to be a different type of spiritualist. If you have to make certain sacrifices by yourself, you're going to be a different type of spiritualist. If you're a type of individual that you're doing it for other people and they don't show the level of gratitude, it changes you on more than one level. I would not get on social media and tell you that I'm the same person. As I go through this metamorphic stage, going through this cocoon, and still got to get up and go to work, still got to get up and do what I need to do. That's why I don't need nobody feeling sorry for me. If you're not going to help me through the process, through her and she's dilating. She's in the process of dilating. And you cutting a monkey? Her nganga, her cauldron is being opened for the passage of this entity, for this spirit to come to this earth. And you handling her a certain type of way while she's in that type of pain, and that's with medicine or not with medicine. Because the medicine aren't going to be able to do so much. I want you to think about, if you ever had a child, why you are dilating does not guarantee birth. I'm going to say it again. Why you are dilating, it does not guarantee birth. I've had women go to the hospital, have to come back home as a spiritual man or woman, how to dilate enough. You have not stretched wide enough to cause your manifestation to come through. Some of y'all vision, some of y'all manifestation, some of y'all healing, you haven't dilated enough for that thing to pass through. No pain, no gain. And for certain things to manifest, I got to be stretched to certain levels of capacity in order for this manifestation to come through. If you can have the baby in your belly all day long, but if you don't dilate certain centimeters, you can't birth. This is why sometimes they have to make a decision. If you don't dilate enough, they have to do an incision. Sometimes because you have not taken enough water, because you have not put your, and you got a 9-pound or 10-pound baby, you might have a big vision. All of a sudden, no longer it can't come out the natural way. Sometimes you got to birth it through your belly. I'm gonna say it again. Sometimes certain miracles cannot be birthed through the vagina. Sometimes you got to birth certain manifestation through the belly. Either way, it's gonna hurt. Either way, it's gonna change you. Either way, you're not gonna see life anything different. A mother that birthed you through the canal will whip you silly just like a mother that had a C-section. It don't feel no different. You still either way came out of her. Sometimes manifestation comes through different pathways. It don't hurt no less. The sacrifice ain't no less. Elevation is necessary. It's paramount. Is it easy? I mean, I make a lot of things in my church look beautiful and stuff like that, but I had to birth that. I'm going through it. And when I tell you, some of you guys that are saying, oh, possibly this ain't much. No, it's a big deal because you're helping me through my transformation. I don't have to do this by myself. And I told God, I said, you already know I can't do this by myself. I will birth it. I will go through the transformation, but I can't do it by myself. You're going to have to send me help. You got to send help through your children. And that, whether that's the children of Ifa, the children of Voodoo, the children of Santeria, the children of Lukumi, I need God's people. And that's why I'm where I am right now in my process. Because God has spoken and Spirit Agun have spoken to certain people and they stepped up. But I want you to know behind the scene what transformation really look like. When you sit there and talk about my Fede Pum Oya, that's more than a name. That's an energy. It's a chaos energy. And when she come in making transformation, she don't care that I don't like how I feel. She care that I get to my destination. So when I wear her as a crown, I wear that with dignity and honor. When people come messing with me, that's why I go off like I do. Because you don't know what I've been through to get where. Manifestation is manifesting. But if you don't dilate, and the reason why synchronicity is so important, y'all, before I go, is this. The reason why they're telling you to drink water when you're pregnated, because you don't want a dry birth. And so that baby birth flow. This is why we talk about giving. Giving is currency. When it's ready for you to birth something, you don't have to have a dry run. You can have a flow. It's still gonna hurt. It's still gonna hurt. But that baby has something to ride on. That vision has something to ride on. That healing got something to ride on. That miracle. And then when I go through when everything starts pulling back and snapping back, just like a woman's body got to manifest. It got to be rested. Now everything got to go back to normal. It's a healing process. Even for this good or bad or indifferent. It's with dignity and pride. I go through this. I also want to thank each and every one of you guys that got your graveyard work. Where I'm headed, if you a Scorpio, Scorpio rising, Scorpio placement, but because of where they're actually taking me and my birthday is right around the corner, it's like having triplets at one time. It's whatever, but it is very important